The year is 2100, and the world as we know it has ended. Great cities now lie in ruin, replaced by neon-lit corporate towers and mega-hives ruled over by machines. The few humans left alive cling to each other for support under the shadow of towering skyscrapers and the specter of war machines gone rogue. Old myths have been reborn with vampires now stalks the night, alongside cyborg, werewolves, and deadly androids. The power of blood still compels, and the thirst for vengeance knows no bounds. Humanity may have created these monsters, but they're evolving faster than their creators ever imagined. In this dark future where nothing is what it seems, and everyone has something to hide, one vampire named Varka stirs from her slumber. She's been sleeping since 1900, and now finds herself in a world both familiar and strange. Disoriented, confused, and hungry, she is awakened by the sounds of sirens and the smell of blood in the air. As she struggles to come to terms with her place in this brave new world, she encounters detectives Maya and Pravi, a married couple who've seen too much death and violence while fighting crime in a broken city. But they're about to get a lot more than they bargained for when they find themselves hunted by none other than Kale, a power-hungry vampire who wants nothing more than to claim them as his own. Kale had been banished years ago after his sister was slain, but now he's returned from hiding, stronger and more ruthless than ever. He's made a name for himself in the shadows, preying on humans and vampires alike, and he's got his sights set on Varka. But why? And what does he want with the ancient vampire who woke up from her slumber in the first place? As Kale closes in, Varka and the detectives are forced to flee for their lives. They seek refuge in an abandoned church, hoping to lay low until they can figure out their next move. But even there, the darkness follows them, threatening to consume them all. Varka is torn between the hunger of her nature and the duty forced upon her. With the safety of countless humans hanging in the balance, she must find a way to control her thirst and embrace her destiny as a protector of the innocent. But as the full moon approaches, bringing with it a surge of primal power, Varka's resolve begins to crumble. She is a creature of the night, after all, and the pull of the darkness within her is nearly overwhelming. Meanwhile, Kale closes in, manipulating those around him and using his powers to bend them to his will. He's patient, cunning, and ruthless, and he won't stop until he's claimed his prize. The stakes couldn't be higher. If Varka succumbs to the darkness, she could unleash a reign of terror that could wipe out what's left of humankind. But if she embraces her destiny and harnesses the full extent of her powers, she could save countless lives and bring hope to a dying world. It all comes down to the choices she makes in the darkest hours of the night, caught between the hunger of her nature and the duty forced upon her. Varka must learn to control her thirst and embrace her destiny as a protector of the innocent. But as the full moon approaches, bringing with it a surge of primal power, Varka's resolve begins to crumble. She is a creature of the night, after all, and the pull of the darkness within her is nearly overwhelming. Meanwhile, Cole closes in, manipulating those around him and using his powers to bend them to his will. He's patient, cunning, and ruthless, and he won't stop until he's claimed his prize. The stakes couldn't be higher. If Varka succumbs to the darkness, she could unleash a reign of terror that could wipe out what's left of humankind. But if she embraces her destiny and harnesses the full extent of her powers, she could save countless lives and bring hope to a dying world. It all comes down to the choices she makes in the darkest hours of the night. Will Varka be able to embrace her destiny and protect the innocent, or will she succumb to the darkness within her? Only time will tell. Varka awakens in an abandoned church, disoriented and confused. She doesn't remember how she got there or why. The last thing she remembers is being awakened from her slumber in the early 1900s. But she feels different, stronger and more aware than ever before. Her instincts tell her that she needs to feed, but she resists the urge, knowing that she can't just kill anyone. She's a monster, after all, and she doesn't want to hurt anyone. But her body is pushing her to the limit. She feels weak and drained, and she knows that she needs to do what comes naturally if she wants to survive. Just then, she hears voices and hides in the shadows, watching as two figures approach. It's Detective Maya and Pravi. They're a married couple who've been investigating a series of strange killings in the city. They believe that there's a vampire on the loose, but they don't know it yet. That very vampire is watching them intently, trying to understand her own nature and her place in this new world. As the detectives talk, Varka learns that she's not alone in this brave new world. There are others like her, creatures of the night who survived the apocalypse and adapted to the new world order. She also learns that Kale is on the loose and he's dangerous, but she can't help but feel a sense of connection with him, like they share a past that she can't quite remember. The detectives eventually leave, and Varka is left alone in the church once again. She's scared and confused, but she knows that she can't stay there forever. She needs to find a way to survive, to find food and shelter, and most importantly, to find answers about who she is and where she came from. As the sun begins to set, casting long shadows across the city, Varka prepares to face the night. She knows that she's not just fighting for her own survival anymore. She's fighting for the future of her kind, for the hope of a better world where monsters and men can coexist peacefully. But she's not sure if that's even possible. As the night wears on, Varka begins to feel the familiar pull of her instincts taking over. She can hear the heartbeat of the living, the warmth of their blood calling to her like a siren song. But she fights back, trying to resist the urge to feed. She knows that she can't just kill anyone, that she needs to find a way to survive without becoming a monster. But the hunger is too much, and she gives in. Feeding on a stray animal, she feels the rush of power, the surge of energy as she takes in the life force of her prey. But it's not enough. She needs more. She needs human blood. Just then, she hears the sound of sirens in the distance, the telltale sign of the night watch. The elite force of soldiers and scientists tasked with hunting down and eliminating any remaining vampires. Varka knows that she has to hide, that if she's caught, she'll be killed. She flees the scene, making her way through the dark and narrow streets of the city. She's afraid, but she's also excited, alive with a sense of freedom that she's never felt before. She's a vampire, a creature of the night, and she's on the run. Suddenly, she collides with someone in the darkness. She stumbles back, ready to strike, but she stops when she sees who it is. It's Kale, the vampire who's been haunting her dreams, the one who's been manipulating events from the shadows. He's here to claim her as his own, to make her his bride and bind her to his will. But Varka is ready to fight. She knows that she can't let Kaylee win, that she has to protect the innocent, even if it means sacrificing herself. The two vampires circle each other, sizing each other up. There's a sense of electricity in the air, a feeling that anything could happen at any moment. Then they strike, fangs bared and eyes flashing, ready to fight to the death. As the battle rages, Varka begins to remember flashes of her past, moments of a life lived long ago. She remembers the love of her life, the friends she lost, the battles she fought, and she remembers Kaylee, his betrayal, his lust for power, his obsession with her. Varka knows that she has to stop Kaylee, not just for herself, but for everyone he's hurt in the past. And as the fight reaches its climax, Varka taps into the full extent of her powers. She becomes a whirlwind of fangs and fury, a creature of pure energy and rage. She fights with everything she's got, fueled by the memory of those she's lost, and the hope of a better future. But Kaylee is a formidable opponent. He's strong, fast, and relentless, and he won't give up easily. Just when it seems like Varka might prevail, Kaylee uses a trick, one that takes advantage of her humanity and the guilt she feels for her actions in the past. He taunts her, reminding her of the loved ones she's lost, the mistakes she's made, the darkness she's embraced. And for a moment, Varka falters. She sees the pain she's caused, the suffering she's inflicted, and she feels the weight of her actions pressing down on her. But she can't give up now. She has to keep fighting, not just for herself, but for the future of her kind. With a surge of adrenaline, Varka shakes off the memories and returns to the fight. She's stronger now, more determined than ever before. She fights with the precision of a seasoned warrior, using every move, every strike to weaken Kaylee and bring him down. The two vampires are evenly matched, and the battle rages on, neither one giving ground. Suddenly, Varka spots an opening, a moment of weakness in Kaylee's defense. She strikes, and this time she doesn't hold back. She digs her fangs into Kaylee's neck, draining him of his blood, weakening him, bringing him to his knees. Kaylee writhes beneath her, struggling to free himself from her grasp, but it's no use. Varka is stronger now, more focused, and she won't let go. As Kaylee's strength ebbs away, he realizes that he's defeated. He looks into Varka's eyes and sees the fire, the determination, the strength. He knows that he's met his match, and he accepts his fate with a sense of calm. Varka continues to drain Kaylee, taking in his life force, healing herself, strengthening herself, preparing herself for the final confrontation with the Night Watch. She knows that they're coming, that they're closing in on her position, and she needs to be ready. With Kaylee's power flowing through her, Varka feels invincible. She knows that she can take on the Night Watch, that she can protect the innocent, that she can bring hope to a dying world. As the sun begins to rise, bathing the city in the warm glow of dawn, Varka emerges from the shadows. She's changed, transformed, ready to face the future. She is the Vampire Queen, and she is here to stay.